Hi, chemistry students. This video is to help you in terms of your MLA formatting for your works cited part of your presentation. Overall, I think you're going to find this so much easier than having to go through that really long-term process that you learned in English class. So if you look at my screen, you can see that I have up an entitled document, and then I also have the presentation. I have the entitled document up because that's going to give you access to this shortcut that I'm going to be showing you. The presentation, where it does give you information in terms of exploring, really nice, it doesn't give you that shortcut in terms of the MLA formatting. So I've got my document open. The Explore area is in the lower right-hand corner. So you just click on it, and you can see that what ends up happening is you get this screen available to you. So I'm going to do my presentation on insect exoskeletons, or that's what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm going to type in insect exoskeletons. And this gives me then a web search result. I'm going to click on this one. This one looks like a good place to start. In fact, Wikipedia is always a nice place to start. A good place to go also is How Stuff Works. If there's other sites too that are really good, you could go into Google Scholar if you really want to dig deep on a topic. If you have questions, feel free to ask me and send me an email. So I'm clicking on exoskeleton though. And what that does, it opens it up into a different tab. I'm looking at exoskeleton, and I can see that I definitely am going to want the role of it. So I'm going to highlight that. So I'm going to highlight roles, and I'm going to cut or copy that, and then I'll paste it in my document. And then what I want to do, I want to go back to that site, and I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to copy that web address, go back to my untitled document, and I'm going to put that above it because I might take other information from that source. Okay, so far it's not much different than what you've done. Now what I'll do is I'm going to highlight that web address. I'm going to go over here, and there's three buttons here, or three dots that are vertical in their alignment. I'm going to click on it, click on MLA format. It's important that you do that step. You can see that I have little quotation marks sitting here. I'm going to click on those quotation marks, and I end up getting this little one. That little one tells me that I've set up what's called a footnote, and it's all set up in terms of the formatting that's going to be necessary for your webs or works cited page. So there you go. And then you can cut and paste that and put it into your document. So I'm going to go back to that source, and I probably want to know a little bit more about what it's made out of. And I can see it talks about the stuff it's made out of because chemistry is about materials. So I'm going to cut and paste that too. And I can see that chitin is something that's talked about, as well as calcium carbonate. So those are kind of the big deals in terms of exoskeletons. So maybe I want to dig deeper, and maybe I want to make my presentation just on chitin rather than exoskeletons. It's up to you how you want to do this. So then what I would do, I would take this information and I would make it my own. What do I mean by that? I would paraphrase it. I would never cut and paste and use something directly the way I have it here. Okay, that's not the way you want to do things. So let's say I want some pictures. So I'm going to type in insects. I'm going to go to images, and this looks like a pretty good picture. Okay. And I think I don't want that because I can go to that site where it came from. And once I've got that site, I would just drag and drop that information. So I could drag and drop it into my document or into my presentation directly, but I'm going to do that same thing where I'm going to cut and paste. Let's go back. My URL, and sometimes it takes a while for it to get in there. I will highlight it again. And then I'm just going to go back here. And it looks like my explore function with that URL thing isn't available. So I'm going to just plug that in here. And then having done that, now I can go to my dots. And then I can go to my quotation marks. And you can see a little 2 there, which means now I've got my second resource that I used. And I would arrange those alphabetically on my works cited page. So end result, what would this all kind of look like? Okay, I'm going to exoskeleton. Here's my presentation. I've got insect exoskeletons. You're going to want to have pictures on every slide. That's one of the requirements. Make sure you're looking at the requirements on those on the rubric that's given to you. You can see I've got my picture there, and then I put right alongside it my source in MLA format. I might want to talk about the role of exoskeletons. This is where I've done my paraphrasing of what I put on my Google Doc, and I put that in there, maybe put a picture over here. This is just showing you something that I took from another source, and I've actually made it so it makes more sense. This was very, very wordy. I made it into bullet points, and you should too. Probably want to know, maybe I'll dig deeper into chitin, so I'll have the chemical formula. I'll probably have the chemical structure as well. Uses for chitin, I'll talk about the medical aspect of chitin and how it can be used. I can go into something here, or I could type in uses of chitin, and I would get a great application here. If you notice, when I use this source, this web search on the Google slideshow, it does not give me the option of fixing my into MLA, my web address. So that's why I always work on this. Plus I have, again, that working form. And you can see I've got my works cited page set up. So I hope that helped. You are now able to use that explore function. And again, it works here. And you can type things in, you get things automatically put into MLA, which is just a sweet deal. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to email your teacher. They can help you out. Have a good day.